actually nuts. Holy smokes, I'm really excited. Who even am I? Look at what just came in the mail today. We have the brand new Nike Romelio 4s. This is going to be the new squat shoe that I'm going to be giving a try. First impressions without lifting with them, they seem more supportive than the Reebok Legacy lifters I was using, so a bit more of an arch. They're slightly narrower. I did order half a size up from my Reebok Legacy lifters just because they're, like I said, run a little bit smaller, narrower. They're actually like really, really heavy duty when comparing them to the Romelio 3s, the previous launch. I'd say these are probably closer to the Romelio 2s that they released a while back, which I really liked those. I didn't really like the 3s, but yeah, really excited for these. There's a dual strap again. Before, on the 3s, there was a single strap, so I'm glad they went back to these. They're like a, kind of like a, I don't know, like a synthetic cloth material. They're not leather, and pretty excited to try them out. So I'll keep you updated on these. Maybe this is the next best training shoe, who knows? Something I recently started doing with bench, which is what I found helps a lot, is looking straight up at the ceiling. I used to look directly down at the bar, and there was like a disconnect as soon as I would, keep looking down at the bar. I would forget to keep my lower body tight. So I feel like my body is being used as more as one unit right now for bench, not just kind of like a 1-2 motion. Like I get loose in my hips, and then as soon as I try to press up, then I tighten them up. Yeah, like A, I feel like I'm using my body more as one unit, and then B, my bar path is a lot straighter now. Now that I'm looking straight up, I'm not looking at the bar. So just a minor thing, wouldn't think it would do anything, but for me, it's definitely helped a lot. So on the topic of weight, my normal training weight is roughly 4 to 5 pounds heavier than the actual competition weight. So that comes out, I think, to 1.5 to 2 kilos. So going into a meet, I'll do a water load. We wanna do a water load, not a water cut, right? Because we don't wanna deplete our muscles. We wanna keep them, I guess, full, I guess you could say. I'll usually do like a 4 or 5 day water load pretty much. And the last few days of it, I'll make sure that my sodium and fiber intake is low, just because that's going to make you hold on to water. Pretty much I work up to 3 gallons throughout the span of those 4 to 5 days. I'll end up cutting water totally about 18 hours out from when I weigh in, and then your body just keeps flushing the water, like as if you're drinking 3 gallons still. So like day 1, I'll maybe do like 1.5 gallons of water. Day 2, the next day 2.5, and then 3 gallons. And then, so that's for 5 days, sometimes 4, depending on how much I have to cut. I've had a really good experience with like training 4 to 5 pounds heavy over my competition weight. For the Arnold 2019, I had to cut 10 pounds, which was just a little bit too much for me. It's gonna depend on the person. For me, that was just a little bit too hard. So doing a water load is like best case scenario, getting the water off that way. Then after that, what I do if I needed to cut more weight, which isn't ideal, but things happen the day of and things don't always necessarily go as planned. After that, I'll like spit. So you just like suck on Jolly Ranchers, and that helps you like salivate. So then you're able to like maybe get 0.5 kilo, 2 kilo like off your body weight for that to make weigh-ins. Otherwise, after that, I do a hot bath. And last resort would be sauna. For the Arnold, I ended up doing like basically 15-minute intervals, like wearing like 2 pairs of like sweatpants, sweatshirt, going in the sauna, and then going on a treadmill, walking and stuff. But like, that's just not a good way to go about it. I was a rookie back then. You're gonna like overexert yourself, and then by doing like all that cardio, all the sauna, which is really, really draining in my opinion. Like I said, could vary depending on the person, but those are just like the tactics that I use. So first, do the water load, then spitting, then hot bath if that's not working, and lastly, sauna. Wouldn't recommend doing that as your first option, just because, like I said, it's going to be fatiguing. Like I said, when I did that for the Arnold, like I didn't perform at my best. A, because I had 10 pounds I had to cut, and then B, just because I was doing so much before the meet. Like if you're able to just make the water load work without doing any additional weight cutting, you're going to be better off. I was able to make weight for both Worlds and for Raw Nationals last year. No problem with just doing that. It's just you gotta be smart about it, and it's all gotta depend on like how much you're weighing over your competition weight. I train heavy just because I'm able to, I guess, put up bigger numbers like lifting at this body weight, but it's not much. It's all gonna depend on your size, but that's what I do. I get a lot of questions on that. So today we are going to be hitting some squats for a surprise, right? My favorite lift. What do you know? But something different, we are going to be using flats this time around. And I know you're thinking like, Amanda, what the heck? You've always been a heels girl. And yeah, truthfully, that is facts. But now is the time, since there isn't any meets coming up anytime soon, to experiment with different things. And this is something that my coach and I have been meaning to do for a while, to see if eventually I might be stronger in these. Right now, I definitely am not, just because wearing flats, it's going to start incorporating a little bit more posterior chain, hamstring, glute, back, and obviously my quads are very dominant, so that's why I like wearing a heel. And I guess I could probably give a little bit of an update right now on the Romelio 4s. And my update is I am really not sure how I feel about these. I still really like the Reebok Legacy lifters. I think the thing that's so different about these compared to them is there's such a high arch in these shoes. So there's a lot more support. They're a little bit more narrower. So that's just the kind of thing. I keep going back and forth between the two. Both a good shoe. I just can't really pick my favorite yet. So gonna have to keep trying them. I think I've used them for maybe a couple squat sessions. So, I mean, to give a thorough review, which I know you guys want, I'm gonna need a little bit more time for it, but to give a quick comparison, this is the Reebok Legacy lifter. I have the all black version, and then the Nike Romelio 4s. Biggest difference I've found between these two, and like I said, I like them both, is the Nikes feel a lot more supportive than the Reeboks. These honestly feel like a flat sole, like no arch, and these have a pretty big arch in the shoe, so that's gonna be the biggest difference. The Reeboks also feel a little bit wider than the Nikes. So if you have a wider foot, you have to take that into account. These might not necessarily be the one for you. Yeah, but overall, that's the biggest thing I've found with it. So it's just, I gotta use them a little bit more to kind of make a final decision on what I wanna stick with, because I'm not the kind of person that really believes in switching shoes. I just like to keep things consistent. I like them both, gotta decide. I'm not really sure how these people wear, I guess, these flat shoes with cushion in them. I was wearing Jordans, tried Vans and whatnot, and I feel like when I'm walking out on squat, that I'm gonna roll over, roll my ankle, just for the fact that it feels like I'm stepping on a pillow. I feel super unstable. So definitely leave your recommendations down below for any, I guess, flat squat shoes you like wearing that aren't squishy, that have a hard sole, because that is what I'm looking for. They don't need to be stylish, but I mean, I am a shoe girl, so I mean, it would be cool if they were, but it's not a must. So I know shoes are a big thing these days. It's honestly crazy. People buy shoes for thousands of dollars, and then they sell them for even more. I don't get it, but I've always been a shoe person. I mean, I'm not that kind of person that's gonna spend $2,000 on a pair of shoes or $1,000 or two or whatever, but it's embarrassing the amount of shoes I have, but it's my thing. on my Instagram and YouTube about my squats because of my knee valgus. But when I wear these flats, watching the playback video, the valgus is a lot better. And I feel like I'm able to push my knees out more easier. Something some of you may not know about me is I have flat feet, and I think that attributes a lot to my valgus. When my foot caves in, that therefore my knees cave with it. My foot would always kind of cave over, like, I guess the arch of the shoe, since it wasn't like wide enough. But with flats, my foot's already kind of like, I guess, caved the arch from the start. So I think that plays a role. I also feel hella strong in these, like, I feel like I'm using more muscle groups, obviously, right, Amanda? But, you know, I'm really excited for this just because I feel like my squat has kind of stalled, and I know it's like a technical, like, inefficiency, and that's the knee cave, in my opinion. So this might be like the move, which is gonna help me, you know, push over that barrier and really try to like reach that 600-pound mark. I'm really excited, man. Like, like it's like the small wins you gotta take after a certain point, and this is definitely one of them. So, just excited. But yeah, another thing with heels, I had always found as soon as my foot caved, when my knees would cave, I'd also kind of like roll onto the front of my foot, which that is also going to be a technical inefficiency. What I found with the flats is that I'm super forced to stay on my heels, sit back, and not let those come up. You know, as I keep working it, last week, like I said, was pretty much the first week where I like tried it out. It definitely has a different feeling than, I guess, heels, with how like you're distributing the weight on your body, like the load. But yeah, if I keep working it, I mean, it goes with anything. If you keep working something, you're gonna get better at it. You know, a lot of people always ask me like, how do I get a stronger squat? How do I get a bigger bench, a bigger deadlift? And it's just like, really, the more you keep working at it, the better you're gonna get at it. It's you know, that's with everything in life. I mean, some people are gonna obviously have like genetic advantages, but I mean, no one can take hard work away from you. Even when things feel like they're not moving, if you keep trucking along, you'll get there. It's too loose. Losing weight. Losing the gains. Just kidding.